It's an important weekend in the GT4 European Series. It is the Championship Showdown. 2 races here at the Nürburgring this weekend. Cars out on track for the first part of qualifying. Standalone sessions for standalone grids. 1 session, 1 driver, 1 race. And a big field, 32 cars venturing out in pretty hot temperatures. There's barely a cloud in the sky, very unlike the Nürburgring really. And the Championship Showdown is going to be absolutely fascinating. We'll worry about points in due course. At the moment though, it's all about getting a good grid position. There, number 25, BMW, Simon Knapp, one of the drivers who's here fighting for championship honours this weekend. But it's not only, of course, within the overall contest that we need to be looking within the Silver Cup, because there is Pro-Am and there is AM as well. Simon Knapp with the MDM Motorsport BMW, one of those in contention. Chasing, however, Jan Kischiel and Max Kobold. They come here as the championship leaders in the Silver Cup on 142 points to the 136 of Simon Knapp and the American driver Alec Udell. They won both of the Paul Ricard races. They won again at Zandvoort, whereas Kischiel and Kobold had a win at Brands Hatch and a win at Misano. And then third in the championship, still just about in contention because they're 20 points back, 22 points back, forgive me, Dan Mackay and Benjamin Lessen. 22 back, 50 on offer this weekend. So the Silver Cup is up for grabs. The AM Cup, that effectively is between Clement Seiler and Pascal Bachmann's Aston Martin against David Loger and Eric Mouet with the Alpine. There are 19 points between them, and of course 50 available. And then in Pro-Am, Marcus Pavarud and Lucky Treff have 174, and the opposition, the only opposition that's here this weekend, Marius Zug and Gabriele Piana. As I say, we'll worry about that when we get to the races themselves and start to see whether people are going to be able to. It's unlikely win the championship today, this afternoon, but they might find that the margin stretches against the opposition going into race 2 tomorrow. So for now, it's a case of having a look at the times, having a look at who is doing what. There, number 007 is Jamie van der Balk with the Aston Martin. It's a sort of very James Bond number, even though in the majority of the Bond books he drove a Bentley. And Jamie van der Balk then turns his way down towards the turn 6, tight right-hander. And then the road just opens up on this drop down the hill heading towards the Dunlop curve. We've yet to get a proper lap time out of anybody. It's a short, sharp 20-minute session, so you need to get on with it, not make mistakes, just keep out of trouble, push, get a banker lap in first of all. And Jamie van der Balk there looking good in the sectors. He's got past the very attractive 718 shaped Cayman, number 21 of Konstantin Schürrle that he shares with Benjamin Mazetis. But Jamie van der Balk, he's looking pretty good. So too is Cedric Freiberghaus in the number 1 Audi, because he's done the absolute best within the first sector there. The KTM goes through. This illustrates the great variety. KTM, diminutive little car, big BMW, almost touring car, Pucker GT shape in the Aston Martin, and the Porsche 718 Cayman, the GT4 Club Sport behind. Van der Balk works his way past the KTM, run by Hans Reiter's squad. And if you go to the Hungaroring in a week's time for the Blancpain GT World Challenge, you'll see the KTM Crossbow Battle, the One Make series, having a number of races there as part of the support program. So KTM, known for so long as a motorbike manufacturer, now coming into sports cars in quite a big way, and GT4 has done great things for KTM's growth. Now, over the timing line, and Simon Knapp was a 2 minutes 6.9. That's the benchmark time. Koen Bogarts does a 2 minutes 7.6 in the sister BMW. Jamie van der Balk a 2 minutes 8. But there, the red Audi in the hands of Cedric Freiberghaus comes across the timing line. That should go quickest of all. And the time offered up, no, surprisingly slow in the last sector, 2 minutes 12. So Cedric Freiberghaus slow toward the end of the lap. Maybe the Swiss driver just trying to lag back from the traffic and then go again in the Silver Cup Audi. It is the one of 2 Audis this weekend. There is a second, and that's the JAC Motors car of Laurent Jaspers and Guillaume Mondron. But Audi GT4s have been pretty few and far between this year. This car, run by the local Phoenix team, accelerates then now out of the Mercedes arena down towards turn 5. Ahead, one of the 2 bright yellow Mercedes from the Lippert team. Fastest then Mads Siljehaug with the KTM. There it is, number 24, the car that he shares with Arke Angermeyer, another of the Austrians. and KTM had a win at Brands Hatch, if you remember. Reinhard Koffler and Patrick Niederhauser were victorious in the first of the two races there. There is Mads Siljehaug off the road. So having just been fastest of anybody in sector one, he makes a right mess of the Dunlop curve, slithers out wide, now has to try and quickly jink left and right to clean the rubber and then go again, but he's wasted that lap, unfortunately. Mads Siljehaug heads up the hill, as now Alexander Mies goes briefly second, 2 minutes 6.773, bettered by Ewan Mackay in the Equus BMW that he shares with Ricardo van der Ende, and a spin for number 32. That is Jean-Luc Behetz facing the wrong way. So he's on the line, everyone can go around the outside of him, the car seemingly undamaged, but it's in an awkward place. So the race director keeps an eye to this, sees him reverse out of harm's way. The road opens up as there the Bullet Racing Mercedes, the Stephen Patrick car goes through, and away now goes Jean-Luc Behetz. Back up and running then, and turns his way through the right-hander of turn 5, ready to drop down the hill. Jean-Luc Behetz, who's been a regular VLN and Zolder 24-hour competitor for many, many years, sets off downhill, a little chastened. So Siljehaug is still the fastest, but now Marius Zug goes up to second. Remember that Zug is here pitching to win the Pro-Am competition. First season of car racing, Marius Zug in the BMW that he shares with the quick Gabriele Piana. There's the quick Brit Ewan Mackay, who is at the moment slower than his brother Daniel, but Ewan Mackay turns now through the left and the right of the Schumacher S. He's got the Mercedes behind him. Doesn't actually look that quick a lap by Ewan Mackay, this. Absolute best in the first sector, though, from 7.18. What else could it be but the Cayman of Ivan Yakumo, the Swiss driver in the Century Porsche Ticino car. But right now, Ewan Mackay powers downhill. Also going quickly in the first sector now, Patrick Niederhauser's KTM. So it's going to be quite a bit of shuffling, I think, to the leaderboard at the end of this next lap. 32 cars have ventured out. We've not yet managed to wring a time out of everybody, but we're not far off doing so. As there, look, number 8 BMW comes through. Ewan Mackay out of the chicane. Equus, one of the top teams running BMWs, had a second place at Paul Ricard, and a win has not yet come the squad's way. We've had two more seconds, in fact, Misano and Zandvoort second places to add to the list, but a win not quite there yet, and it's not for want of trying. Ewan Mackay goes through. Does he go quicker? The answer is no. There is Patrick Niederhauser, who should be on the pole position. He's done the absolute best sector 1, a personal best in sector 2. The Brands Hatch winner then comes now into the Hyundai N Curve, out of which he will now fire up towards the line. 2 minutes 5.3 to beat. Looks good, and it is good enough. 2 minutes 5.1 puts him at the top of the times. Patrick Niederhauser makes it a 1-3 for KTM, and 7.18. or 7.18, as the Germans prefer you to talk about Porsches. Ivan Yakumo goes up to second fastest. The Cayman then goes second. Dan Mackay in the McLaren, the Vechur car, has done an absolute best in sector 2. Off the road has gone Stephen Patrick. The Bullet Racing car has been fired off the road, and it's a long way off the road as well. That's on the chicane, isn't it? Or it's near the chicane. It's got a long, long way off there. So Stephen Patrick, great enthusiast, still adapting to powerful GT cars, second year in the category, but he's had a checkered season, tries to get going again. And let's have a quick look, if we can, at how he got there. So comes through the chicane. He's too quick into the first part. There's no way he's going to slow down and make the second, and off he slides. So does he hit anything solid? No, Stephen Patrick avoids that. The car overseen by Dave Price. It's shared with Andy Merrick. And Stephen Patrick, that was on his first flying lap, very flying. He's not yet done a lap time, unfortunately. Through there goes Lucky Trefts in the Manfilter Leipert Mercedes. Trefts with Marcus Pavarud, the Pro-Am championship leader. It's not points in qualifying, of course, but it's grid position over your rivals that they're concerned with. So Trefts presses on. He had a good season within the championship, Lucky Trefts. And down towards the turn 5-6 sequence he goes. Marcus Pavarud, the Norwegian driver, that he shares with. 6th fastest now, Cedric Freiberghaus. Patrick Niederhauser has lost his pole position to Ewan Mackay, but Patrick Niederhauser has done another absolute best in Sector 1. What about Freiberghaus here? He's done a personal best in the first sector, a little bit down in the second, and heads now up towards the timing line, goes 2nd fastest then in the Audi. Cedric Freiberghaus, 2 minutes 5.159. All good. And we've got a time out of Stephen Patrick, admittedly a slow one, including his spin of 3 minutes, but he has at least got a time on the board now. Cedric Freiberghaus goes through into the pit lane, has just dived Ivan Yakumo, but Ewan Mackay, the British driver, having come from Radicals into Carrera Cup, a British GT, and then into European GT4 this year, is going toe-to-toe with his brother. Often they split the sessions, but they're against one another in this. And Dad Paul, himself a former racer, is here. As ever, a proud dad cheering on his sons. Paul very, very badly knocked about in a Carrera Cup GB accident a few years ago, but it's great to see that he is much recovered. So, Ewan Mackay tops the times, and Dan Mackay is 6th. Mercedes through, and looking to see where the next significant improver is going to be. Well, Ewan Mackay, having done that gun lap last time, has backed it right off. Doesn't need to push, take more life out of the tyres. He might even have got away with that being the best of the session. Patrick Niederhauser, however, here is still pushing on. Up to 2nd has gone number 111 Marius Zug's BMW. Interesting this, that it's a BM 1, 2, and 10, and 11, and 13. We've got quite a lot of them up at the pointy end. Dust settles at the Schumacher S. Patrick Niederhauser flicks the car through, saves that little slide that he had, and now pushes on up towards the sequence of the Ravenel and Bilstein curves. Another improver up to 3rd is number 66 now, another of the Bullet Mercedes, Romain Monti. Now Romain has had a win this year, that came at Misano with the young Alex Lamberts, but going strongly here is Romain Monti, experienced driver, and Patrick Niederhauser, absolute best Sector 1, a little bit down in Sector 2, however, only by 900ths, so he's found a 10th, then lost 900ths. Can he turn up a really good 3rd sector to get the KTM to the very top of the times? It's looking good, it's looking neat, it's looking tidy, it's looking quick. Niederhauser comes through, breaks the beam now on a 2 minutes 5.145, 4th fastest. So absolute best, and then slower 2nd and 3rd sectors, unfortunately, mitigate against a significant improvement. It was slightly quicker, but not really quick enough to catapult to the front row of what is at the moment a BMW lockout. Only 6 more minutes of Q1 remain. Pit stop, driver change, go again. Now there's the car that's 2nd fastest. Marius Zug behind the wheel. Turning his way, as you see, up now through the Mercedes arena, with the best Mercedes being 3rd fastest. So Zug comes towards us. And Marius Zug, his best lap, 2 minutes 5.073. The BMW 18 thousandths back on Ewan Mackay. So looking strong at the moment is Marius Zug. He's got the road to himself as well, but is he going to be able to find any time on this lap? What can he do in the sectors? Let's see as he goes down the hill now. So Marius Zug breaks the beam at the end of Sector 1. Is he any quicker? Let's see. The answer is no, he's down by 3/10. So again, it might be that they've got the best out of that car already. Marius Zug wriggles his way up through the Schumacher S. He's got traffic ahead of him as well. Mercedes and Aston Martin there, you can see further up the road. So there's the almost obligatory flash of the lights just to get the message into the brain of the drivers ahead that, yeah, quicker car behind. There's also the Certina pole position awards that the drivers are pitching for. Not points for the championship, but a watch never goes amiss. So through goes Marius Zug, and he's getting himself closer to the traffic. It's in a sense academic anyway, because this isn't a quick-ish lap. Another improvement has come from Luki Treffs up to 13th, 2nd within Pro-Am. And Zug bails into the pits. So with just over 4 minutes to go, I'd be surprised if he goes back out. The car may well now be given over and ready for Q2. 71 is in for Paolo Melloni to give way to Max Tresoldi. Another of the quick BMWs, that car. And are they going to go again, or is this an early chance to cycle through the stop, get everything ready for Q2, get the driver in, get him settled and do any work on the car? Across the timing line, 10th fastest there is Max Kobold, who, remember, is one of the drivers fighting for championship honours here. Kobold shares with Jan Kisiel. And Max Kobold, who was champion 2 years ago in BMW days, looking strong. So Max Kobold accelerates through the Mercedes arena. And where is he in terms of time? He's only 10th, so Max needs to find a little bit of time if he can. GT4 has become so competitive over the seasons. More and more of the manufacturers coming in now with effectively turnkey race cars. Whereas it used to be about tuners taking a car, now it's the manufacturers building them, the teams running them. And GT4 racing globally, absolutely soaring now. Kobold downhill then, but only at the end of this first sector are we going to get an indication of whether he's looking good or not. And as he breaks the beam, no, he's not. He's 8/10 slower than he needs to be, really. 24th, the usual heroics coming from Matt Cowley, the British driver in the Aston Martin. His next target being Paolo Maloney's BMW that we saw in the pit lane a moment ago. Jean-Luc Behetz, after his spin earlier on, is 25th fastest. And the leading AM Cup car at the moment, Dominic Albert. The Razzoon Malvern Racing KTM. So there's just one more lap they can ring out at the moment if they're coming up towards the timing line. Kobold here is going to be in jeopardy of starting one more lap or getting the flag. So Kobold up towards the line, comes to the chicane first. 18 thousandths is the margin between the top two cars, Ewan Mackay and then Marius Zug. BMW drivers, both. Romain Monti is third, and Kobold goes for the pit lane. So if you're not improving, there's no point staying out and just driving around. Get in, get your, in theory, quicker co-driver in. This session is notionally for the AM. Now, where you've got two Silver Cup drivers is a moot point, but if one is fractionally slow at putting in the first session, I wouldn't exactly say Patrick Niederhauser was slow, however. But anyway, he's done the driving duties. A good effort by Akhil Rabindra, another ex-single-seater driver, 6th quickest. And Simon Knapp, only 11th. So Knapp is, in the end, where behind Kobold, one place. So the championship fighters, 10th and 11th on the grid. There is Matt Cowley, I was talking about a little while ago in the Academy Motorsport Aston Martin. This is the team run by Matt Nicol-Jones, very successful racer, largely in genetics. There was barely a race or a championship that he didn't win, going back, what, probably 8 or 9 years now. But Matt Cowley, very, very quick, former Formula Ford 1600 racer, raced in America, and then has come back as part of the Aston Martin Academy to make a name for himself in European racing once more. And doing this on whatever is one stage down from no money at all, much underfunded driver. He's been learning new circuits, learning about a new car, learning about new discipline of double driver races. And Matt Cowley has done a good job this year. Hopefully we'll see more of him in GT racing in the future, whether it's in the UK or internationally, because he's certainly got a good future ahead of him, Matt. You only have to watch him in a pack to tell that he's come out of Formula Ford. Proper little fighter as a racer. And Matt Cowley, 24th fastest at the moment. The Astons not showing massive pace here. Akhil Rabindra 6th, Alex Mees 14th, Tom Wood, Jamie van der Bout 17th and 18th, and Matt Cowley 24th. So there is a bit more to find in that car. But Matt Cowley now heads up down the hill. On this lap, road's clear ahead of him. And how's he looking in the sectors? He'll get to the end of the first, and a little bit down on what he did earlier, in fairness. There's number 22 Porsche, which is Jan Kasperlik and Nicolas Schurl. Nicolas, who has been a winner here in the Central European GT4 Series a year ago. Jan Kasperlik behind the wheel for Q1. The flag is out, so Ewan Mackay takes pole position. That was a car that was fastest in Free Practice 1 yesterday in Ricardo van der Ender's hands. The other car that was topping Free Practice times, Marius Zug. So significantly, we've got them 1 and 2 in the Free Practice session, sorry, in the qualifying session Q1 this morning. Here is Jan Kasperlik, 20th, and is he improving in sectors? No, he's not. He's going to be still 20th, I fear. Jan Kasperlik goes through. but 2 minutes 5.055 plays 2 minutes 5.073, and then third after Mackay, Zug, Romain Monti, 2 minutes 5.126, so 71 thousandths cover the top three. There is the what will now be Gabriele Piana driven car, ready for Q2. And remember that Zug and Piana are hunting down Pavarud and Trefts within the Pro-Am competition. So 25 points ahead. That's a race win, but there are 50 on offer. So if they get another point, Pavarud and Treft over Zug and Piana in the first race, and therefore have a margin of 26, then it's done. So that can be won in race one, but Zug and Piana will be doing everything possible to try and stay in contention, stay in the fight. So the teams now get ready for Q2, and let's just quickly have a look at where we're up to in terms of the standings so far. The Equus Run BMW of Ewan Mackay tops the times, ahead of Marius Zug, and then third fastest Romain Monti. Patrick Niederhausen fourth, ahead of Cedric Freiberghaus. Akil Rabindra sixth from Dan Mackay. Then it is Ivan Yakimo, Mads Siljehoog ninth, and Max Kobold ahead of championship rival Simon Canap 10th. Koen Bogarts 12th from Lucky Treft, Alex Mies. Then 15th fastest is the Lestrup BMW in the hands of Alfred Nielsen. Konstantin Schurv is 16th from Tom Wood and Jamie van den Belt with Jan Reinig. 19th, Jan Kasperlik is 20th. 21st is the Ginetta of Jorge Catalan. And then behind is Dominic Holbert from Paolo Maloney. Matt Cowley 24th, ahead of Jean-Luc Verhetz, then Bob Herbert. And after him, there is Laurent Jaspers, Pascal Bachmann, Angelique Detavernier and Stephen Patrick, 30th fastest, with then the last two being 31st, the Joachim Walder BMW, and surprisingly the Alpine, David Loger and Eric Mouet, slowest of all. We've been a bit short of competitive Alpines this year, but that car has had class wins. Let's have a quick look back at the highlights of Q1. Actually, very few being in strife. We had Mads Siljehoug pressing on to go quickest early on and then running out of road down at the Dunlop curve, arrived too quickly and slithered off the track. But other than that, we didn't have too many people going off the road. Stephen Patrick had a spin. Patrick Niederhausen was very quick, but ultimately not as quick as he needed to be to get the KTM, which is nimble but maybe a bit breathless, onto pole position. That was Stephen Patrick's moment, but he got away with it and sorted himself out. Jean-Luc Verhetz being another spinner as well, but Ewan Mackay tops the times. So Q2 is getting underway very shortly. Again, it's going to be 20 minutes, and the cars then are in the pit road. One or two, like there, look, number 48 Alpine, arriving just now at the end of Q1. So you understand why some teams elect to bail early, because it means they can get all the work done even before the break between the sessions, and they're ready to go as soon as we're underway. Whereas the Alpine of Eric Mouet only just arriving for Daniel Loger to take over. So remember how well those cars went last year, certainly in the international competition in Bahrain, but we haven't had quite so many in the entry over the course of this season. It's still a great shape, that Alpine really does look good. Number two then, nearest to us at the end of the pit lane, is now Marcus Pavarud, ready to go. Marcus Pavarud, Norwegian GT and touring car racer. There, number 25, is Alec Udell. Alec, who's made quite an impression on European racing this season, and perhaps a canny move to come and do it in GT4, not in the rather more high-profile GT3 environment, but having been the youngest driver ever in the history of the Pirelli World Challenge as a 15-year-old back in 2011, the former karts racer, having been victorious this year at Paul Ricard twice, and at Zandvoort, certainly one to watch. Number 26, sister car at MDM Motorsport, Koen Bogart's Mark van der Aar's car. Mark van der Aar will take this session, and 11:56 is going to be the start time. so we've got a few minutes for the teams before Q2 gets underway. These cars, of course, have their first race today, and they will race local time at just after 5:10. Coming up to 10 to 12 now, just gone, and the sunny Nürburgring, whisper it, ready to receive the cars for another 20 minutes here. So there is Alec Udell ready to go. He and Simon Knapp have made a pretty good combination this year. You see the Satina windscreen visor that the cars all carry with the regulation. Satina part of the Swatch group, as indeed is Blancpain. It's the timing partner for this championship. The Lumirank display telling you who's in round 26, VDA meaning Mark van der Aert, and that will alternate between the driver's short code and the position the car is in the classification. Gabriele Piana rather disgraced himself here in the 24 hours this year with the incident involving René Rast in the closing stages of the 24-hour race, but Gabriele Piana has gone very strongly in this car all season, quick driver, and Gabriele Piana, locally based, to the Nordschleife, left Italy to come and live here in order to become very much a Nürburgring specialist. 77, sorry, treble 7, forgive me, is now in the hands of Dominic Schrammel, and that car, again, one of the quick Mercedes that we have, Dominic, who got as far as Formula 3000 many years ago before switching to GT racing. Last year's champion, Nikolai Müller-Madsen, for Phoenix now, ready to go. He's raced in GT3 as well as GT4 cars, but came from the Volkswagen Sirocco and then the Audi TT Cup. The Danish driver, the Swiss Cedric Freiburghaus, having done his driving duties in qualifying. Nikolai Müller-Madsen, confident driver, and will be one to watch again in this session. Eike Angermeier shares 24 with Mads Siljehaug. So the Valvoline True Racing car, Eike Angermeier replacing Phil Hill, who drove that car early in the season, but didn't really get on top of it, so there was a parting of the ways. Number 16 is now Reinhard Koffler, another former single-seater racer, Formula BMW, Formula Renault, Euro Cup, and then he's been a KTM regular in the last few seasons within GT4 racing. And Reinhard Koffler takes the car over from Patrick Niederhauser, the Reiter-run car, and he's good to get on board now. Slides in through the cage. The bodywork opens forwards. Tyres being changed, wheels tightened. Number 99 is there as well, another of the KTMs, that being the Razzoon racing car of Dominic Olbert, and for this weekend, Onder Erdem, taking over from Konstantin Schürrle, who did drive that car early on in the season, but Konstantin Schürrle has also switched teams. He's at the Allied Racing Porsche squad. They're the very smart 718 Porsches, the Caymans. Number 21, which is Benjamin Mazetis, ex-AVAC F4 racer, in the car that he shares now with the aforementioned Konstantin Schürrle, who in turn has taken that over from Nicky Leutwiler. And there is number 22, which is the Jan Kasperlik Nicholas Schürrle car. Nicholas Schürrle to drive here, having been in the Central European Cup last season. Thumbs up. There you've got Ricardo van der Ende, single-seater champion, GT champion, and potential pole position driver. Great character is Ricardo van der Ende. He's looking good, ready to go in this car that's already bagged one pole position in the hands of his co-driver Ewan Mackay, who is perhaps not as quick as Ricardo, so it's looking good for them here. David Dermont, another experienced driver for Patrick Sellerslag's team, will drive the number 30 Mercedes, shared with Angelique de Tavernier. Complete change of driver in that car from the start of the season, when it was Guillaume Dumoulin and Jean Glurieux, but Angelique de Tavernier we've seen quite a lot of in Blancpain GT Sports Club and Fun Cup. Andy Merrick, Formula Ford, Formula 3, fourth place at Le Mans, and the man behind the British Racing Drivers Club Superstars programme to look after young British talent these days. He takes over from Stephen Patrick. So Mercedes up and down the pit lane, all ready to go. 31, another of the Sellerslag Mercedes. That's the car of Alessandro Giovanelli and Bob Herber, who've replaced Junior Strauss and Bas Schouten in that car. Bob Herber from the Creventic long distance series. Right, session is live, green lights are on. Johan van der Rum ready to go for, again, the Sellerslach team. Belcar racer and also graduate of the BMW 235i Cup. Right there, everybody on circuit, or getting on circuit at least. Just like we say about GT3, GT4 particularly, different shapes and sizes, different sounds as well, different engine notes. And although many of the cars look like scaled-down versions of their, in contrast, rather more outlandish GT3 cousins, these are still very quick racing cars in their own right. It's also a great place for the AM to come and learn, develop, for the young drivers from single-seater racing to come and cut their teeth. And it's small wonder that GT4 racing has become so popular in the last few seasons. Now we understand that although the session was live on time, the lights at the end of the pit lane were not, and so the session will be extended by 40 seconds to compensate, because if the teams were looking at the lights, they didn't release the cars, but the session was live, they lost the track time. 40 seconds, you might argue, is limited, but the race director, Jerome Friedman, doing everything fair's fair, so giving them that track time that the lights didn't suggest they had available to them. So here is the number 7, Aston Martin, down the hill, road to itself, and the car for Julien Darras now, it's 007. Julien Darras, who we've seen in block-pan endurance racing in a BMW, he's raced as well in the Nürburgring 24 Hours. He's an experienced peddler, and the 007 Aston Martin then now comes up towards the completion of the lap. Onto a flying lap it will now go. First out, so clear road, first up, best dressed really here, road to itself. Behind we've got the BMWs of MDM running together. And they're going out of the first part of the Mercedes arena. Into traffic goes Julien Darras. So you get a clear road for the out lap, but then you get the stragglers that were late out. So managing the traffic, important, difficult to achieve as well. Darras gets through on the inside there. Julien Darras starts to offer up sector times now. Another one that's looking good, but that's from an outlap, is Marcus Paveron, suggesting that he's getting on with the job here. There is Darras down then to the completion of the first sector, finding himself in traffic. Number 99 of Honda Erdem is ahead of him. The best of anybody in Sector 1, interestingly, is Alec Udell. It was Marcus Paveron, but right now it's Alec Udell as Julien Darras slides through the Schumacher S, then speed building as he comes up the hill. So Julien Darras then up towards the Ad Van Bogen, then to the chicane. In terms of sectors, the very rapid David Griesner doing a good job in Sector 1. Another of the Aston Martin drivers, David Griesner, graduate of the 235i Cup. He's also raced in the Opel Astra series. He's raced in Pro Car in Chevrolet Cruze, so experienced driver is David Griesner. Over the timing line goes Darras, that's going to be the target. Marcus Paveron's done a 2 minutes 5.644. Darras, in fact, slightly slower, 2 minutes 7. Mark van der Aar a 2 minutes 6. Alec Udell a 2 minutes 6. There's the BMs together, with Udell giving van der Aar a tow at the moment, and Mark van der Aar fractionally quicker. But David Griesner, number 18 Aston Martin, is the one to watch, I reckon, because he's done his absolute best within the first sector. There's Alec Udell. Now where does David Griesner get himself to. He's lost his absolute best first sector now because Jan Kisiel has gone faster. And Griesner goes quickest, 2 minutes 5.215. So David Griesner to the top of the times in the Aston Martin. So number 18, Aston, goes quickest, the Pro Sport Performance car that he shares with Akhil Rabindra, who himself is a quick peddler, so don't rule that out for good results this weekend. But we've got number 19, the sister car of Mike David Ortman, going up to second now. And Marcus Pavarud is down to third as 14 minutes of the session remain. There's number 8, so this is Ricardo van der Ende. What can he do to get himself to the top? Well, what he can do is 2 absolute bests in sectors 1 and 2. Can he do another one in sector 3? He will go quickest of all, 2 minutes 3.922. He was slightly slower than David Griesner in sector 3, but it doesn't matter, he's quicker by over a second. Ricardo van der Ende then to the top of the times, 1.2 seconds to the good. The car did a 2 minutes 5.055 in Q1. It's already annihilated that with a 2 minutes 3.9. Ricardo van der Ende illustrating why he is so rapid. So van der Ende now towards turns 5 and 6, traffic up the road ahead of him. He's backed off, hasn't he? He's done that lap, the message has got through. We've still got some times yet to be posted, oddly. There's number 71 BMW sitting in the pit lane, yet to go for Max Tresoldi. Bizarrely, given that he was one of the first cars in to affect the driver change. There is 19 Aston Martin, so that's the Mike David Ortman car, 5th fastest and slower in sector 1. Mike David Ortman is another graduate of the ADAC Formula 4 scene. Goes now up towards the timing line and will go through. So Mike David Ortman, 5th fastest. There, number 1, Nikolai Moller-Madsen. He's only 8th at the moment. So NMM down the hill. And let's see in this first sector whether he's any quicker than he has been. Yes, he is. Considerably so. So Nikolai Moller-Madsen getting faster and faster as the session develops. Tyres fully up to temperature now. Car lighter on fuel, pushing hard. Been a tough season for the reigning champion. Just the 1 race win, but with this pace, you never know, there might be more in the offing this weekend. We've also got Gabriele Piana in the 111 BMW, now absolute best in sector 1. So there, Moller-Madsen down the hill. And now makes the flick through the chicane, uses as much curb as he can get away with. Mark van der Aar has just been an improver. He is up to 5th. Benjamin Lessen is 2nd, which means that we've got the 2 brothers Mackay effectively on the front row here, because Ewan shares with the quickest man, Ricardo van der Ende, Dan with Benjamin Lessen, who is 2nd. Moller-Madsen goes up to 5th. Gabriele Piana in the BMW there, goes over the line, goes 2nd. So Gabriele Piana, 2 minutes 4.221, good effort. And still half the session to go. We're not done yet. There is the BMW then down towards turn 1 in the Mercedes arena. Another flash of the lights from Gabriele Piana there to warn the traffic ahead that he's on his way, and he's still pushing. That's the significant thing here. So the RN Vision STS entered car, a Pro-Am car, but very much with the Pro. Gabriele Piana behind the wheel, drops down the hill here. So let's see. yet to get a time out of Andy Merrick, as well as Reinhard Koffler, so there are still 2 quick drivers that could possibly just influence the way the grid shapes up. Piana a little bit down this time, only by 28 thousandths, but he is down. Dabs the brakes, going up towards the Bilstein curve now, down the hill. Uses all the curb. We've just had an improvement come from Under Eder, because he's up to 24th in the KTM, 2 minutes 9.616. Piana, no, he's lost more time in the middle sector, so he's trying, but it's not coming. You see, it's the so-called soft version, the motorbike version of the chicane. Piana now makes the run up towards the timing line. So last time it was a 2 minutes 4.221, and that's a 2 minutes 4.579. Only 3/10 down. Not that much, relatively speaking, but it is down. So 8.5 minutes on the clock. Now there is Benjamin Lessen, double winner at Monza, and pressing on in the Vasseur McLaren. 2 excellent wins in mixed conditions at the start of the season, and there through the Dunlop curve comes the McLaren, but I would suggest that that's slowed down. It has. It's on a slow lap here. Yes, as you can see, nearly 2 seconds away in the first sector. So Lessen on a slow lap, a gentle lap. The order is Van der Ende, Piana, Lessen. Udell is 4th, David Griesen 5th, Mike David Ortman 6th and in the pit lane, Moller Manson 7th, Mark Lander at 8th, Dominic Schrammel is 9th, and then Oliver Söderström is now 10th. Marcus Pavarud 11th, but quite a long way back in terms of the Pro-Am fight from Piana. And Jan Kischel is 13th, and quite a long way back from Alec Udell in the Silver Cup fight. So an interesting second grid, potentially, this. And Alex Lambert's winner at Misano, slowest of all, and in the pit lane. So, or perhaps not well in the second of the bullet cars there. Number 97 BMW is one of the Scandinavian Championship cars here this weekend from the Leicester Racing team of Alfred Nilsson and Oliver Söderström. Söderström doing Q2. There it is, out of the Mercedes Arena. The Ginetta ahead, again, more variety. The Ginetta G55. Well, where is that car in terms of a time? The Ginetta 19th, Louis Guillenet on the wheel. Söderström now makes the run down the hill. Hits the brakes, turns right. The Lumirank has come loose. If you look inside the car, you'll see the green display is not pointing out of the front, but it's wobbling around inside the car. So the Lumirank display broken, and I think it's fallen off completely now, having been ridden over the curb. So the officials might need to have a look at that. You can see it's still loomy, but it's dropped away from where it should be on the windscreen. There it is, flying around the cockpit. It's not come loose, but it's getting dangerous, that. So if I was Söderström, I'd be tempted to pit and get that either taken out or taped up. He's got the KTM ahead of him. Where is the Reinhard Koffler car? 6th, that's where it is in terms of the time now. KTM bails out of harm's way. Söderström goes through. Again, you can see the Lumirank flapping around inside the car. He hits the brakes, tries to get back towards the windscreen, but he's not pitting despite it, is he? He's going on. What can he do for a lap time here? Normally we can look at the Lumirank and find out where they are in the time. It's not quite so easy when it's flapping around. 11th fastest is the answer. Söderström goes through. 5 more minutes in the session to go. Any more improvers? Yes, Nikolai Moller-Madsen last time was 8th. And Johan Vannerum, 22nd fastest with his Mercedes. Number 16 goes by Reinhard Koffler, but only 6th fastest. It was a slow lap, remember, he got out of the way of that BMW. In the pit road is Alec Udell. And another rather slow-looking car is Dominic Schrammel's Mercedes there. Now, has that just had a moment, or is he building up to a quick lap? Either way, doesn't look very quick. 4 minutes to go. Quite a few now heading for the pit lane. Andy Merrick, we've got up to 18th fastest. Nicholas Schurl, 14th. Picking out some of the quick drivers as there Reinhard Koffler gets up the curb as he goes around the outside of Luca Benetti and Matt Ginetta. And off the road goes number 31, that being Alessandro Giovanelli. Dust settles. Reinhard Koffler looking a little bit quicker. Personal best sector 1. Also looking good in the sectors. Will Moore in the Aston. But then Koffler seems to slow as he comes out of the Bilstein curve, or through the Bilstein curve. So maybe a KTM ain't going to be an improver after all. There's Koffler coming up towards the timing line, but having been good in the first sector, huge time lost in the middle. So 3 seconds down, and he goes through stage 6, but that was a very slow lap in the end, 2 minutes 9. And this is how we lost Giovanelli, coming out of turn 5, loops it onto the grass. No damage, which is the good thing. Doesn't do much for the tyres, and also illustrating how unseasonal the weather has been here, because you get on the grass and it's absolutely bone dry and dusty. Normally the Nürburgring is wet and slippy, but the weather has been incredibly kind over the last few days. And there, number 16 is Reinhard Koffler on another slow lap. So are they actually going to bring him in this time, or is he going to stay out for one last shot, hoping that the road becomes clear? Benjamin Lezen is 3rd fastest for the Equipe Verschure squad. Franz Verschure himself, a very experienced racer of years past, largely in European Renault racing before going into GT cars. The air blown inside the cockpit to keep the driver cool. There's the very nice wrapped 718 of Ivan Iachimo and Kevin Gilardoni. Quick racer, a very accomplished rally driver as well, Gilardoni, and rated gold as a consequence. But the pit lane, virtually full now. Most people have called it a session early as Akhil Rabindra walks across the pit road. One of the reasons that people might have bailed is the amount of gravel that's on the track there through the Schumacher S. Not quite sure who brought that onto the road, but clearly it's not going to help your lap time. So even with the 40 seconds extra that the race director has given them, I'm not sure there are going to be that many people still circulating. There is number 4 of Jan Kishiel. 13th that car has dropped to now in the times. The flag is imminent, and Kishiel is on the slow lap. Loses track position there to Andy Merrick, who is still pushing on. There's evidence. Up the curb. Bullet Racing, if you're wondering why is it Bullet Racing, Stephen Patrick, who is the man behind the team, loves the movie. So no argument there. It's a great film, and it's what we call our team, something different. And goes over the timing line, and Andy Merrick then on that lap is no quicker, sadly, but 18th fastest. The only thing that would have been needed to complete the whole picture here would have been a GT4 spec Mustang, wouldn't it, for Bullet Racing? But in the absence of one of those, a turnkey, user-friendly Mercedes, perfect for an amateur driver. Now there is the number 16 KTM. Reinhard Koffler is still out, hasn't been getting any quicker, but now looks like he's on the money once more. So Koffler into turns 5 and 6, and is this going to be an improvement for him? It does look a lot more competitive. So with the road almost empty now, most people in the pit lane, Reinhard Koffler carries on. We'll see though at the end of this first sector whether it's worth looking at the lap or not, won't we? Because if he's dropped time, and he has half a second, he's not going to get that back, and he almost understeers himself out too deep into the corner anyway. So Reinhard Koffler is not, I fear, going to be an improver once more. And also he's coming up towards the Schumacher S, where there was all that gravel on the road. So with the so-called pros behind the wheel, the time's a fair bit quicker. 2 minutes 3.922 this time for number 8 BMW against 2 minutes 5.055 of Q1. Second, as it was in Q1, is the number 111 BMW. 2 minutes 50 in the first, 2 minutes 4.221 in the second session. And number 14, Benjamin Lesen, 2 minutes 4.470 in third in Q2. Koffler ain't going to be an improver, as you can see. That car through the chicane, but 6th fastest. It's going to have to be done on racecraft, isn't it, this? Bailing for the pit lane. Kishiel's Mercedes, and we've only got 3 cars on the road. And there to take the flag is Reinhard Koffler, who loses 1.7 seconds and stays 6th in the times. So, a good session for Ekris, with both sessions falling to its M4. Let's have a look at how Q2 finished then, with Ricardo van der Ende the fastest from the Gabriele Piana similar BMW. Benjamin Lesen third, ahead of Alec Udel's BMW, and then Achille Rabindra and David Griesner's Aston Martin 5th, David Griesner doing the time. Reinhard Koffler 6th, ahead of Mike David Ortman, Nikolai Moller-Madsen 8th from Mark van der Aar and Dominic Schrammel. Oliver Söderström 11th, going nicely ahead of Marcus Paverud, Jan Kischiel, Nicholas Schurl, and then Eike Engemeyer 15th fastest. 16th, number 100, that being the Guillaume Mondron driven Audi, ahead of the Julien Darrat Aston Martin and Andy Merrick's Mercedes 18th. 19th, the NN Racing Team Ginetta G55 in the hands for Q2 of Luc Ibanez, ahead of Clement Zeiler. Will Moore 21st, ahead of Benjamin Mazetis. Johan Van Rum 23rd from Mika Stanley. David Dermont, Kevin Gilardoni a long way back after a spin. 27th, Alessandro Giovanelli. David Loger 28th. 29th was Onder Erdam, and 30th was Johan Söderström, Oscar's dad. 31st, Alex Lambert, and never going out, never getting a time, 71, Max Tresoldi. So the car hadn't been brought in early, part of the scheme, it had a problem. And that car of Max Tresoldi, as I say, did not venture out to set a time. Highlights then of Q2, and again, very well behaved. On occasions, GT4 has been a bit harum-scarum, but I think the message has got through now that they need to keep out of trouble. And number 8, again, looking strong all the way through the session. Ricardo van der Ende topping the times. This sister, or similar car rather, number 111 of Gabriele Piana, 2nd fastest. And a big spin here, number 31, getting it all wrong, Alessandro Giovanelli. But he survived it, recovered, and got back on track before the end of the qualifying period. Benjamin Lesen bailed early, but Ricardo van der Ende on pole position for Q2. Join us for race action later in the day. Bye for now.